When truth was treason. The story of Helmut Huebner, performed by Christian Palmer, Jesse Palmer, and Jared Lau. Let me tell you a story about a friend of mine and the stand we took against the Nazis. In January 1933, Hitler took the chancellorship of Germany. The economy improved. People had jobs again. Many thought Hitler was an answer to prayer. Then, in 1939, Czechoslovakia was taken. Soon, most of Europe was under German control. Books were burned. We were forced to join the Hitler Youth Organization. In September 1939, a decree was passed, outlawing listening to foreign radio. We weren't intellectuals or members of any political group, but we felt then, as I feel today, that the pen is mightier than the sword, and that public opinion can do wonders if people have courage. It was on this that we based our stand.
The Blood Tribunal of the Third Reich is now in session. Before us today is the trial of Helmut Huebner, charged with high treason towards the benevolent government of Germany. Prosecution, you have the floor.
Do you swear that the testimony you give today will be the truth?
Yes, I have never done otherwise.
Do you recognize these items?
Yes, the typewriter and papers belong to me. The radio belongs to my brother.
What did you use them for? Tell the court everything that happened.
8 months ago, I was looking for something I'd lost, and I chanced across the radio in a closet. I was curious and took it upstairs to listen. That night, I heard a broadcast from the BBC.
Hey Ruth, listen to this. The British claim that their aircraft carrier, the Ark Royal, is still afloat. Our own government claims to have sunk that very same ship 7 times.
That's true. I've noticed that on the German radio, we always seem to be winning. People are being tricked by Dr. Goebbels into supporting Hitler, a liar, a tyrant. On the British radio, they report the casualties on both sides, even in London.
Oh, good, Carl, you're here.
So guys, how was the war?
Good morning, Germany. The Nazis are on the verge of victory in North Africa, and Russia should fall before winter.
Or that's what the Nazis want us to believe. The truth of the matter really is great. The United States have joined the Allies, and Russia is making an effective counterattack.
But this is the truth. Maybe more people should know about it.
You're right. I have an idea. I've typed up several broadcasts and turned them into leaflets. We can distribute them. Put them on bulletin boards.
Are you crazy? Are you completely off your rocker? Surely you don't suppose we three could overthrow the entire Nazi government?
But we can inform people. They'll realize that maybe things can change and that they're not alone in their opposition to the Nazis. Why, information will spread till all of Hamburg has gotten some word of it.
Okay, I'll take a couple. Hey, don't unload the whole stack on me. That swastika's a nice touch. They look official.
Thanks.
I can take some. I'll take the north side. You take the workers' quarter.
Great. I'll take down by the railroad. Good luck.
It was clear that the Nazis feared truth more than they feared weapons, and the leaflets more than they feared guns.
That's why they were so threatened. Carl and Rudy were friends of mine, and I knew that I could trust them. Together, we distributed over 60 different editions over a 9-month period. Only our strong moral convictions kept us going. Without these convictions, revolution is impossible. People say,
Why should I sacrifice my life and the lives of my family for someone I don't even know?
people aren't willing to take a stand. That's why after the war, the world asked of the Germans, how can they let Hitler do this? Why didn't they do something? Why didn't they stand up? Well, some of us did. I think it made a big difference. How the world felt about the Germans after the war, and how the Germans felt about themselves.
Will Heinrich Mons please take the stand? Herr Mons, tell the court everything that happened. February 5th, 1942.
I am the direct supervisor of Helmut Hubener. I was in the office when I noticed something extremely suspicious was going on.
Come on, it's just this once. I can't translate those. Do you know what kind of trouble I'd get into? You're a good kid. You can't help anybody. If you're in prison or dead,
They're not going to kill me. Think about it. Everyone who gets just one of these will realize that maybe things can change. I need them in French to give to the French prisoners of war. It'll help them hold on just a little bit longer. The Nazis won't win this war, you know.
that's treason. I'm not a
I
criminal.
want to speak to you two immediately. Leonard Grants, Hubener, what is going on? I can see that something strange is happening.
Helmut wanted me to do some translation for him. I told him I was too busy.
Let me see the papers you asked him to translate. I saw you hide something when I came in. I don't believe it. I trusted you. You there, detain these two while I get the Gestapo.
Helmut Huber and Warner Krantz were immediately detained. What you see on the table before you was found in Huebner's house. Before I continue, let me tell you something. To help you understand the devilish cunning of this calculating youth. He was born into a strong household. He is pure Aryan. His father is the captain of the local stormtroop division. He is remarkably intelligent. And because his crimes are thought crimes, he should be judged as an adult. He who had every reason to stay within this system, to join this monumental movement that sweeps across the fatherland, rebelled, but chose for himself his punishment. Yet he shows no remorse. We must not treat this ingratitude kindly.
The defense now has the floor.
He's only a boy. A boy playing silly, boyish tricks.
I ask for mercy and judgment. That is all.
Helmet Huguenot, do you have anything to say in your defense?
Although I stand on trial, I stand today with a clear conscience before God and man. The prosecution claims that Karl-Heinz Schnibb and Rudy Wolf are guilty of assisting me in the planning. This is not true. It was I who thought of the idea. The blame must be mine. I had no choice. I had to listen to the broadcast, and when I learned the truth, I had to disseminate it.
While you were lying to the High Council, they were deciding your fate and that of your friends. Karl-Heinz Schnibb, 5 years, hard labor, to be extended if necessary. Rudy Wolf, 10 years, hard labor, to be extended if necessary. Helmet Huguenot, death by beheading. Your life is null and void.
You kill me for no reason at all. I haven't done anything wrong. All I've done is tell the truth. It's my turn now, but your turn will come.
Our friend Helmut Huber was beheaded at 8:15 that very evening. He was 17.
And at that time, the youngest person executed for treason against the Nazis. Almost 3 years later, the Nazi judges were convicted in the famous Nuremberg trials.
What he did was significant because each sacrifice contains intrinsic value. In the sluggish stream of the world, which often threatens to silt up with narrow-mindedness,
Is given new impetus by those very few who sacrifice themselves, not from a wish to pose as heroes,
Because they can consummate their human mission in no other way.
the legacy left by Huebner can only come alive when it is understood as a moral obligation.
to continue towards the protection of freedom wherever it is threatened, and to regain it where it's been lost.
Truth will triumph. Helmut taught us that.
While they're taking their set down, if the next group is ready, they can go ahead and set up. Yeah, actually, one of the people who did this still alive, Karl-Heinz Schnibb, who actually distributed the pamphlets. And the stuff we learned from him was just amazing. Like, he was sentenced to 5 years, and right before he was released, he was caught again by the Russians. Like 2 weeks from his release date, so he stayed in a Russian concentration camp for another 8 years. And he said that after 13 years in prisons, concentration camps, that he would have done it again without second thought, because he figured that what they'd done is so significant and it's what's required in this situation with him. So just the understanding of what this meant to the people who actually did it was amazing.
Yeah, because right after the war, the Germans, they were looking for all kinds of people to
say that, we weren't all Nazis. We weren't all, these bad type of people. And they looked for people like Helmut Hubener and other people who actually helped out with the war, were against the Nazis, who did take a stance. They could say, not all Germans are bad. The Germans, weren't all Nazi. We can't say we're all against the Germans. It was the Nazi party and not the Germans.
The interview had, it was interesting because we'd read books that they'd written and we'd read things about it by other people. And since we interviewed the authors of several of the books as well, in our reading we came up with questions, what about, one thing for example was, during this time period when Helmut was listening to the BBC, there was a type of British propaganda called black propaganda, and this was essentially British lies, and they encouraged people to distribute leaflets, to put the word around. They pretended like they were people from the inside Germany, and there was a bunch of things about them, and we came across this and we thought, it kind of sounded like what Helmut had listened to. He thought, because if it is, then what he thought was true wasn't in fact the British lies. And we're really concerned about that, and so we asked all the people and we talked about it and we went back to research more. And they helped us determine that it probably wasn't, because he said distinctly there was no BBC.
But it was interesting because like talking to one of the authors after bringing that, he'd been researching this for 4 years and he'd never come across the black propaganda idea at all, because we didn't find any books about Hubener. We found it in a book about the BBC. So he actually recommended that we do some original research on it, and kind of, so you guys could write something on that if you were really interested in stuff. But after talking to the other authority on it and to Carpentership himself, we realized that it couldn't have been ruled it out as a possibility. But it's just really interesting things that we learned about. And a lot of questions were answered by Karl-Heinz Schnitt himself and by the authors. Like we wanted to get a BBC recording and actually play it, that would have been really nice, but we found out that he'd been 4 trips to London, didn't get him anything, and
Following up, he said, Tea and Chocolates, have a nice day. We never released those, sorry. And so we're like, okay, well, we should.
yeah, because we tried
He's been trying for 5
he
years.
raised the national podcast, we tried to find out numbers with public BBC and stuff, but we could get it for a while. It wasn't happening. What impact did you think it was having on the average? It's weird, but no one, not a lot of stories have surfaced of people telling, I had this leaflet, help me hold on. But what has come up is that they distributed thousands of these, 60 different editions for a long time. And all of that time, only 3 of them fell into Gestapo hands. So that means that the rest of them were being read and passed on, or read and destroyed. And that means that people weren't saying, I gotta get rid of this, I gotta give it away, So people were actually reading them, because they were all over the place. But the Gestapo didn't get them. Gestapo. It's
kind of interesting. One of the reasons why they were so hard on them, because Hamburg was a city that was particularly prone, and they felt kind of the Nazi Party didn't have as firm a hold on that city.
So it's more liberal stuff.
They use that in the sentence. It's a dangerous city, and here you are driving up the people.
Because historically it's been a member of the Hanseatic League, and it had closer ties with England than lots of with Germany and stuff. So it's traditionally a freer city. But I think its significance doesn't really come with the leaflets themselves, but with what happened after the war. Because like Jared said, they're really looking for examples. And the term is I've heard moral capital is what he provided for Germany after the war. Because Germany, if you look at the post-war literature, like Günter Grass, Paul Sherlock, Heinrich Böll, all 3 of these famous German authors wrote about either Hubener himself or a Hubener-like character, and to help boost the German spirit and stuff, because they found all these horrors going on and going, why did we do anything? So they're looking all over for people who did. And he was the perfect example, because he should have been Nazi. His father was a Nazi. He was Aryan. He was intelligent. If he joined the Nazi Party, he had everything to gain. And when he started distributing pamphlets, they didn't know the Nazis were going to lose. The Nazis were still totally winning. And yet he risked it all on a moral grounds.
As opposed to a political or a social economic. There were communists who were resisting, there were gypsies who were resisting, but they were being persecuted.